Good afternoon. This is Victor Jimenez with Sewer Line Check Professionals. I'm here at 2407 North Dittman Avenue, and I'm in the process of performing a video examination of the main sewer line. Now, the main sewer line is the portion of the waste drainage piping which is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is the portion or portions of the waste drainage piping which are underneath or interior to the structure. Today's video examination is not focused on the building drain line system. So if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. So I've accessed today's main sewer line from a 2.5 inch maintenance access located about 10 feet to the left of the front door, and we pushed through about 10 or so feet of building drain system before I zeroed out my camera. Then went ahead and pushed out the other 58 feet to the connection point at public sewer located in the center of the street. So overall total length of the line is just under 50 feet, 49 feet there. So pulling away from public sewer, we're entering a section of vitrified clay piping. So the vitrified clay is a very common material for main sewer lines. It has a long service life expectancy. However, it's more susceptible to damage during earthquakes and seismic activity, and it also has a tendency to let in roots at the joint areas. Now, this section of exposed vitrified clay actually looks to be in pretty good shape. I don't see any breaks or cracks in it. Also, no roots coming into that joint area, so that's a good sign. Now, pulling away from that, we're entering a section of vitrified clay that's had a lining system administered to it. So a lining system is essentially a fibrous plastic material that's run through the pipe. It's then inflated with a bladder and filled with a resin and left to harden. So essentially the purpose behind the lining systems is to rehabilitate an older system. Now, from the inspection, I can't tell you whether or not this was an approved lining system. That would be something that would have to be checked with the local building authorities and inspected against permits that would have been pulled to line the system. But essentially what we're looking for here in this lining system is to see whether it's still functioning, to make sure that it's not broken or failing. And the section of liner looks to be so far in acceptable condition. I haven't seen anything to recommend getting repairs. Now, the only point that's just kind of something to keep an eye on with these lining systems is that essentially at the end of the line there, you saw that the connection point to the public sewer was exposed, and specifically two joint areas of that connection point were exposed. Now, I mentioned earlier the vitrified clay has a tendency to let in roots at the joint areas, so having roots at those connection points would be considered a maintenance issue, not something wrong with the integrity of the line. And if you do have roots coming in at that line, you're going to have to maintain them and clean them. But the issue with this is that running standard maintenance or cleaning actions through a lining system has been found to have degenerative effects on the liner and start to break them apart and basically wear them out much faster than they're intended to last. So it's not anything that has to be, nothing needs to be done on it necessarily today. It's just more of something to keep an eye on if you do notice that you have roots coming in after doing some inspections later on. It might be a good idea to be proactive about it and get what's called a top hat installed. A top hat is essentially a piece of liner that's installed from the city side, and it's to kind of fill those two kind of connecting gaps there. So we're coming basically to the end of the lining system right there. And overall, that lining system looks to be in acceptable condition. No breaks, no roots penetrating those. It's not flaking or cracking, so that's good. So now coming at this point, we're entering a section of ABS, or other modern-style plastic piping. Now, the modern plastics are an excellent material for main sewer lines. They have a long service life expectancy. They're also intended to be impervious to root intrusions, and they have a smooth inner surface, which is efficient at washing out debris. So overall, an excellent material. Slight offset here, which is causing some standing water to exist in the pipe. Being in a clay pipe, this is not too much of a concern because the clay has that smooth surface and that tendency to wash out debris pretty easily, so not a big concern here. There is no main sewer line access for the line. If you're doing a hydrojet cleaning, the access that we found today should be sufficient. But if we were to get the main sewer line installed, it would be located basically just in front of the hose area. basically a few feet from this clean out, or this maintenance access here. That's where it would get installed. So now pulling, at this point, we are pulling into the building drain system. So what's actually inside the house, and we're still in this section essentially of this ABS plastic piping, which is overall an excellent material. So pulling out of that, kind of orient you to where everything is at, where we access today. So this was our access point. You can see here. Alright. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get a photograph of this for the report, and we'll kind of orient you. So that's the access. The clean out would be basically placed right where that open patch is in the dirt. That's where the line comes out of the house. Runs in a pretty much direct line to the street over there, and that's basically the total length of the line. Okay, and with that, I'm going to be wrapping up the video portion of the examination for today. Once again, this is Victor Jimenez with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant day.